Hey Bearcat fans, welcome to another edition of This Week in Bearcat Athletics. Well, another good week last week for Bearcat sports, including two teams that remain unbeaten. One of those, the volleyball team that went 4-0 in a tournament it hosted with Missouri Western last weekend. This weekend, important for the football team. It's family weekend, so the black jerseys are back in honor of Scott Bostwick. And this week, Colin Bevins will wear the number 52 in honor of Nick Turner. We'll have more on all that coming up on This Week in Bearcat Athletics.
The Bearcat football team scored all 17 of its first half points in the first quarter, then scored 3 touchdowns and got a 47-yard field goal from Simon Mathieson in the second half to run away from Washburn 41-7 in its home opener. Head coach Adam Dorrell says even with 2 wins to start the season, he sees a lot of room for improvement from his offense.
Yeah, the numbers are good. I think, just to be real blunt with you, I think they're a little deceiving because I don't think we've played as well as we can play on offense. I think, we talked a little bit about last week. I was pretty disappointed. I felt like we left a lot of points out there last week. And just, you're going to make mistakes and you don't have to be perfect, but the amount of people we had running around wide open last week, we got to hit those. And, again, that's more than the quarterback. That's route precision. That's needing more time to hit them. And then, again, I go back to, we had, after we got done watching that film on Friday, we had 33 mental errors as an offense and 70-something snaps, whatever. That's way, way too many mental busts. So, I don't know. I don't feel like we've played great yet on offense. I really don't.
Dorrell says what he was encouraged most about the first 2 games is that he is seeing his team start to be unselfish and come together.
I think on the field and off the field, I think the things that we have going for us, I do think we're starting to have another year of having a real tight bond as a football program, and I think that's super important. And that obviously goes well beyond the practice field and into the meeting room and in the locker room. So I feel like our kids care about each other, and I feel that growing as we go. I think that's important. And the other thing that I feel right now is, we've got to stay focused on it, but I feel like we're an unselfish team right now. And I know you guys, I talk a lot about that. It's just not the norm in college football. When you have as many kids as we have that are touching the football right now, and some of those kids deserve to touch it more. And just unfortunately with our system and the amount of playmakers we have, it doesn't always work like that. So those are probably the 2 main things I've seen. I do see us getting better, on offense, defense, special teams as far as our execution, the X and O portion of it. I feel like we're making definite strides there, but we got to improve. But those are some of the things we're doing good right now.
This weekend is family weekend when the Bearcats face the University of Nebraska Kearney and former Bearcat quarterback Josh Lamberson, now head coach for the Lopers. Kickoff is set for 1:30 Saturday afternoon. For just the 3rd time in program history, the Northwest Missouri State volleyball team is 8-0. The 2 previous 8-0 starts came in 1980 and 1984. The Bearcats won 4 matches in the Green and Gold tournament it held host last weekend, including thrilling 5-set wins over Minnesota State Mankato and 24th-ranked Rockhurst. Maddie Bruder and Jackie Becker were each named to the all-tournament team for their efforts as well. The Northwest women's soccer team opened the season last week with 3 matches, winning 2. Their first effort was a 3-1 loss at Rockhurst, but they picked up wins against Minnesota Crookston and Sioux Falls in what were to be home matches, but were moved to Missouri Western because of wet field conditions in Maryville. In the 5-0 win against Sioux Falls, the Bearcats' first 4 goals were scored within 4 minutes and 42 seconds of each other, and 5 different players scored overall. Head coach Tracy Hosa says she was happy to see the team make improvements throughout the first week.
Well, impressions and from 3 games was we saw progression, which is what you want to see. The first game against Rockhurst, it was a little, we set back a little in the first half, more tentative. And then the second half, we came right at them. It was 2-1 for most of the game. It was a very, very competitive game. More importantly, it was a fun game. So then you go into the second game on Friday against Crookston, and we take the lead and we win 2-1. And then again on Sunday, going into Sunday's game, it was a great game. It was a blur game. I don't know if I'll ever see, I hope we'll see 4 goals in 5 minutes again. But, we just get done cheering and we're like, oh, whoa, we scored again. But the biggest thing we saw was progression, and we saw a team coming together, and that's what we needed to see.
The Cats will get into MIAA play starting this weekend with matches against Missouri Western Friday and Central Missouri Sunday. The women's golf team opened the fall portion of its schedule at the Central Region Preview in Olathe, Kansas. The Bearcats took 16th, but did have a 4-stroke improvement from round 1 to round 2. Elise McDonough was the highest individual finisher for Northwest, taking a tie for 42nd. The Cats will head north and take part in the Concordia Fall Invite in St. Paul, Minnesota, Monday and Tuesday. Both Bearcat tennis teams were in Springfield, Missouri last weekend to compete at the Drury University Tournament, but no results were published. Both teams will head to the Midwestern State Tournament this weekend in Wichita Falls, Texas. Both cross-country teams were off last weekend after a successful start to the season in the Bearcat Open. This Saturday, they will head to Lincoln, Nebraska for the Woody Greeno Invitational. That's This Week in Bearcat Athletics. For producer Andrew Sherry, I'm Matt Gorder.